Okay, 10:01. I'm going to get this party started this morning. I wanted to thank everybody for attending. My name is Sarah Walker. I am the Director of Marketing here at HomeXpress Mortgage. I've been with the company about 3 years. Been in this glorious mortgage industry for about 27 years. So it's been a minute. Today, I'm just going to give you a walkthrough of our XConnect portal. This is our first processor webinar, specifically just tailored to processors. If there's some loan officers in attendance, great. Hopefully you can pick up a few sales tools through our XConnect portal that will hopefully make your job and the processing of the loans a little easier. This is our homepage of our XConnect broker portal. To start, this is where you sign in. This is the sign in page. You will get your login information directly from your account executive. One thing I did want to point out is your username is not always your email address. Your account executive can provide you with a unique username. Typically, that will include impart your broker ID number. So username is not always your email address. And if you do need to have your password reset, you can do that function yourself right here by just resetting your password. Okay, this is a training site. The actual XConnect site does look exactly the same. But there obviously, hopefully, will be more loans in the pipeline when you log in to view. I want to get started first of all with our pricing tool. This is where loan officers or processors can actually go in and price their own loan. If you wanted to start one from the very beginning, you can just enter everything in manually, or you have the option to upload your 3.4 file if you already have that complete. We're just going to do a test case here for the first one. Just type something in here. The loan type, this is our product selection here. So these are all of the HomeXpress programs as they are named today. CoreX, PrimeX, Jumbo X, and then we have our Investor X, which is a business purpose loan, FHA, conventional VA, and then our other Investor X for 5 to 8 units. If you're unsure which program to select, I suggest you reach out to your account executive. But typically, if you're doing non-QM, this is where you're going to be, either Core or Prime. The two distinctions on these two non-QM products are the length of time that they've been self-employed primarily. PrimeX is really a paper fallout type product. For this particular one, we're going to select CoreX. So as you can see, this is your view that you will have when you're pricing a new loan. Now you can name the scenario whatever you prefer. If you met somebody in line at Starbucks and you wanted to save that scenario name, guy at Starbucks, you can do that. This is really for you to save your scenarios based on how you're going to remember them. Okay, we're going to do lender paid comp. This is where the compensation selection comes into play. In this case, we're going to select lender paid. Only the fields that have the red asterisk are what is required to be filled in. Now for amortization type, I'm just going to leave that open as no filter, and the same thing with interest only. Now, when you're going through the pricing tool, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. When you're going through the pricing tool, I recommend it's just a little bit easier for you to go all the way down the left side and then switch to the right side. Because if you try to jump back and forth in between the fields, usually you miss something. And when you get to the end and you try to run the pricing, you kind of have to go back and look and see what field you missed and go fill that in. So I find it's generally a little bit easier to go down the left side and then go down the right side. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, let's just put some numbers in here. On this particular example, I'm going to walk you through submitting to the income desk for a non-QM loan using bank statements. So when you're wanting to do your income desk request, this part, the pricing part, generally doesn't need to be as detailed, doesn't need to be exact, because we're not calculating DTI. We're really just doing the bank statement analysis for you. So for purposes of this, we're just going to enter in some information here. Citizenship, credit score, bank statements. Let's see what bank statements we want to use. Let's do lots of bank statement choices here. So let's do, we're going to do business bank statements. Now, this isn't too important other than when you do submit your bank statements to the income desk, whether you select 12 or 24, the 12 or 24 month fields are going to be option for you to upload your bank statements to. So just make sure you have the correct number of bank statements chosen that you have. So I'm just going to do 12 months because that's what I have prepared. Let's do rate and term. Primary, single family. Once you get used to doing this a few times, you can rock and roll through here and price your loan rather quickly. Not rural. Income. Our system, our pricing tool does not, well, on Primex, it does calculate the income because if you're over a certain percentage of DTI, it does have a rate add, but generally, this isn't like a pre-approval, so to speak. So this isn't as important until you get to the point where you're submitting the loan. So we're going to do a 20% DTI for now, just for purposes of what we're doing here. Cash reserves, let's do none and see what happens with that. Let's do first-time home buyer, see what happens with that. This pricing tool really is something that you can go in and play with to get your deal set up. Okay, so we filled in everything that has a red asterisk, everything that's required. So let's run some pricing. All right, we got pricing, yay. So first thing, yes, well, this is part of you have to price a loan before you can actually submit the loan. So pricing is always the first step. Let's save our scenario. Okay, so if we want to do the income desk analysis, we have to register the loan. Okay, so let's just select something. Are you sure you want to register this loan scenario? Yes, I do. Jenny, to answer your question, when we're registering a loan here at HomeXpress, disclosures are not sent out. So the act of registering it does not initiate disclosure. We're getting the spinning wheel this morning. Okay, so step 2, we're in registration process. Okay, I'm going to go in here and select my processor. The processor needs to be selected so that you can see the loans in your pipeline when you log into our portal. So make sure either the AE or if your loan officer is doing pricing, that they select you as the processor so you can go in and see this registration and then do the submission. Okay, income desk analysis. We're going to be doing business bank statements. Okay. Okay, so our last statement that we have, we're just going to do February. And this is where you put important notes about the business. This will help the income desk do the analysis as far as the expense factor. I'm just going to put some basic stuff in here. If you are a processor that your loan officer requests help in getting the bank statement analysis done, this is why I'm showing this to you. Okay, we do have to have, in order to do the income desk analysis, we do have to have the self-employment questionnaire provided. Okay, and then you just go through and upload your bank statements. So this is why the 12 or 24 months is important, because if you select 24 but only have 12, you won't be able to proceed at this point. So you want to make sure that at least the number of bank statements that you selected is accurate. No, this is not for a submission into underwriting. This is for the income desk analysis. This is what we're doing. We can do the income desk analysis prior to loan submission. You obviously want to know if the loan is going to qualify. So having the income is the important first step when doing bank statement loans. This is just for self-employed borrowers who are wanting to document their income using bank statements. And we have to have the income analysis done prior to loan submission. So that's why I'm showing this to you as a first step. Okay, so we got everything uploaded, the self-employment questionnaire. We got a little bit of blurb about the business here. Here's our registration number, so you can track your registrations in our portal, and then you submit for review. Yes, I want to submit it for review. Would you like to submit another account? No, I don't want to submit another account. You do have the option of submitting more than one bank account for the income analysis. No, to answer your question, Robert, the portal does not read the data that is on the actual bank statement documents direct. It does not do that. You do have to upload the PDF statements. Depending on how many income desk requests we have, the analysis can take anywhere from a few hours to the next day, depending on how many requests we received in that day. Okay, if you want to go back and see that the income desk is in process, you can refer back here anytime and you can see the status of your income desk request. Okay, when it says finished, the income desk will send the income worksheet to your account executive. So that would be the point where you would want to make contact with your account executive and see what sort of income came back from the analysis. Okay, so that's how to submit bank statements to the income desk for income analysis. You will get the self-employment questionnaire, Melissa, from your account executive. Your account executive should have those forms available to you. It's usually best to just keep a blank one on your desktop or in your HomeXpress folder on your desktop so that you can refer back to it whenever you're doing a non-QM bank statement loan. Okay, so if we want to go and look at our existing scenarios. So here's our scenarios pipeline. This is where you or your loan officer, if you do your own scenarios, or if you want to go in and see part of your loan officer's scenarios, you're getting ready to submit a loan and you need to pick up where they left off. You come over here to the scenarios pipeline. And again, like I said before, you can name these scenarios whatever you prefer. Sometimes when we get scenarios from loan officers, they don't always give us the borrower's name. So some account executives do save their scenarios under their loan officer's name. So that because when you do a scenario and you assign it to that loan officer and or processor, if the account executive does that, the two of you can also go into the scenarios pipeline and you can see those scenarios that have been saved under that loan officer and or processor. So if the account executive is doing pricing for you, you can go in and refer back to the scenario to kind of pick up where they left off and get the loan submitted. You don't really, if you want to search, if you want to go look at your registrations, there's actually 3 pipelines here. So you have your scenario pipeline, you have your registration pipeline, and I'll click on that. And then you have your actual pipeline, your loans. So here's your registration number. And if you had the registration number, if you wrote it down somewhere or put it in your conversation log, you could just search it by here in these fields, these filter fields here. You can do it by borrower name, you can do it by the loan amount, you can do it by state. Okay. So I'm going to pick up one of these scenarios that we want to submit. Okay. Now we're going to do a submission. So our loan officer has gone in, they've saved a scenario, and now I'm the processor. I'm getting ready to get the loan submitted into underwriting. This is for a non-QM loan. My loan officer has requested Prime X as the loan type. We're doing lender paid. Okay. If you just want to double check what the loan officer has put in here, again, the reason I'm going over and showing you how to do the pricing is because this is the first step of submitting a loan. So we have to run pricing as the first step. If the loan officer says, processor, I've done the pricing, it's saved in there, and you come in here and to get to step 2, you get an error, right? I can't proceed. I can't go to 75% on this program. Mr. Loan Officer, we have a problem. You need to go back and look at your pricing again and make sure that we can do this the way it's submitted. So let's change our loan amount here to try to get some pricing, because in order to move on, we have to get pricing. Okay, we changed it to 70%. So let's run some pricing again. Yes, Natalie, you can have the system give you pricing. You don't have to have a NMLS number in our system in order for you to run pricing here. Okay, let's see. Loan amounts under 150. Okay, what I like about our system is if you're getting an error due to some input because of the structure, the way the loan is structured, you can go in here and play with this. It'll tell you why it's not giving pricing. So let's go in here and make some changes. You can go in here and, play with this so you can get it to go. That way you can assist either yourself or your loan officer in putting the loan together. Okay, we're at 70, change the property value, change the loan amount, made those adjustments. We're at 70% because we knew that was stopping us before. Let's run pricing again, see what we get. All right, we got pricing. Okay, so since this is the first step of submitting a loan to HomeXpress, let's save it because we always want to save it in case we get a phone call, we get interrupted. You always want to save as much as you can. Okay, let's select this pricing and let's go to step number 2, register scenario. Again, when you register a scenario at HomeXpress, we do not disclose. This is either for you to use the income desk or for you to be on your way to actual loan submission. All right, so let's make sure we select the right processor. Mrs. Awesome Processor selected. We make sure we select her so that she can see her this loan in her pipeline in our portal. Okay. We're not doing a bank statement loan here, so the income desk option goes away. Okay, this is step 2 in our registration process. Here at HomeXpress, we really work very closely with our account executives. The account executives really see through the loan submissions to the very end. As a broker doing a non-QM loan, whether it's the processor submitting it, the broker submitting it, or the loan officer submitting it, non-QM loans only, the AEs are the only ones that can go through to full submission. And we do that so that the AE can really help you structure your loan so that it gets approved and gets approved with the least amount of conditions possible, because that's the goal here. So since we're in step 2, the registration process, I'm going to show you what that looks like. We're going to upload the credit report. It's a necessity that we always try to upload the credit reports and try not to email those because they do contain the borrower's social security number. So emailing documents that have social security numbers on it, we need to try to avoid that as much as possible. Okay, Mr. Jerry Rice, we are uploading his credit report so that we can proceed here. Okay, the pricing validation that we've done, this could be done once, twice, 3, 10 times. I always think it is good business practice to go in here and grab your pricing validation. 1, so that you have it to refer back to. And 2, if pricing changes, you're going to have an intelligent discussion with your AE about relocking, extending the lock, because pricing is always based on the day it was submitted. For non-QM loans at HomeXpress, loans are locked at submission. Okay, it gives you the pricing breakdown, gives you the parameters of your loan the way it was originally priced. I always save this in my folder for that borrower so that you can refer back to it later. Okay, so let's proceed to step 3. Step 3. All right, here we go. So HomeXpress account executive will contact you shortly to assist with your submission. So to proceed to step 3, if there's any other documents that are pertinent to this file, if you have payment histories, if you have mortgage statements, if you already have the prelim and you want to get all that submitted as part of your initial submission, that's when you would want to email that over to your AE. Let me go back into the registration. So as you can see, the system will list what the minimum submission requirements are, okay? This is what you want to email over to your account executive. Bank statements for assets, credit report, we already uploaded here, escrow fee sheet, fee disclosure input form. That's a form that you will receive from your account executive. That form is very important. One, because it has your compensation on it, and two, it will help us disclose the loan properly, so there's no cures down the road. The fee input form lists the processing fee, the credit report fee, what you quoted the borrower potentially for an appraisal fee, all those things that could potentially create a cure down the road. This is the form that we use to disclose. Jenny, for non-QM submissions, you only upload in step 2. Everything else that you want to submit with the file, you submit it to your account executive. This process is not going to remain like this forever. We are in the process of updating our portal as we speak. And there is going to be definitely some more tools available to the loan officers and the processors for getting their loans submitted. But yes, step 2, this is where you would alt and you would send the rest of your documents to your AE to submit. And again, the purpose of that, the reason we do it that way is so that your AE can help ensure that your loan gets approved and gets approved quickly. Okay, so let's go into a loan that's already approved in our pipeline. Okay, here's our pipeline. So we have scenarios, we have registrations, we have our actual pipeline, approved loans. This is where you will come in here and see your conditions, satisfy your conditions, see any notes on conditions from your underwriter. Okay. Move this. Okay. So under the loan details section, so this has your loan number. Once your loan is actually converted from a registration to a submission, this is where you get a HomeXpress loan number. So if you're ordering your insurance, you're getting your loss payee done, this is where you want to look. Okay. Your loan status is here. Your comp type, this is for you and your loan officer to go back to refer to the details of the loan. What loan program is it submitted under, property type, loan amount, documentation type that we're using, DSCR percentage. This is actually very helpful because as we know, the DSCR percentage can potentially affect your pricing. So if you get your appraisal in and your appraisal is signed off and your 1007 is signed off, you always want to come in here and double check your DSCR percentage, because usually if we fall below 1 to 1 or 1%, that can potentially affect your pricing. Okay. This section right here, the loan story, this is always very helpful, especially for non-QM loans, because typically non-QM loans do have a story that they come with. This is where it's very important for your loan officer and your account executive to have a conversation about the loan so that any notes that would be pertinent for the underwriting of that loan can be placed here. This is also helpful for processors too, because if you have a pipeline of 60 loans that you're trying to get through, this will help you refer back to be like, oh, okay, that's that one that has that funky thing on it that I need to, zero in on and get figured out. Pricing information. So here's your interest rate, your loan to value, and it has your monthly mortgage payment on here for you to refer back to. Okay. Also has your lock expiration date. Here's your contacts at HomeXpress and at your office. So the broker, LO, the processor, your account executive, your account manager. Your account manager is very important in the loan process as well. I'll tell you why in just a minute. And it even has your underwriter's information here. So your underwriter's contact information is here. If you have some condition that is a little bit funky that you want to just talk direct to the underwriter about, you will be able to contact your underwriter here. Your underwriter's information will also be found on your printed loan approval if you like to receive those and your AE sends those to you. We do have also listed your housing expenses. So if you wanted to go in and match up your 1008 to what we have listed in our system, it will have everything here. So we can compare apples to apples. Okay, income. If you're wanting to compare apples to apples and have your file match our file, this is where the income information would be displayed. Same thing with the liabilities. So, you know, if you're close on a DTI, if your DTI is at that 49.92% and, you know, you can't pay off one debt because it'll make you short to close, this is where you can really come and dial it in and make sure that we're on the exact same page as the way the file was underwritten. And then here's the important dates section about your loan, okay? When the loan was received, when it was underwritten, when it was approved, all the way down to funding. And then the document expiration dates. If you have a loan that's been sitting in the pipeline for a month or two, trying to get through a contingency or just some condition that we're having a tough time clearing, if something's been stale or getting stale, you probably want to come in here and make sure that none of your documents are about to expire. And if they are, you can already start working on getting them updated. Okay. Any questions about the loan detail section while I'm in here? This basically just allows you to jump to these sections once you get in here. If you're in a hurry, I need to call my underwriter, I need to call my account manager, you could just jump right to that section here. Sure. So we're actually in our pipeline. So if we're just, I'm going to go back to the beginning. I just log into our XConnect portal. I want to go straight into my pipeline. I have 10 conditions I need to upload on this loan. I want to go right to my pipeline. Okay, here's my pipeline. Has an actual loan number here. A registration number will always have an R in the beginning of it, so you know it's a registration and not an actual loan submission. Okay, so it brings up the loan details section again. Let's get to our conditions. Okay, this part is actually very, very simple. You want to make sure that you're in the right loan, first of all. Double check the name, double check the loan number, double check its approved status. If you want to double check what the comp type is, you can. If you want to adjust your views here, you can right here. So if you just want to go in and in your pipeline, you manage it and you just want to see only outstanding conditions, you can click to do only outstanding conditions here. So it shortens your list a little bit. Okay, so this is how you satisfy conditions, and you can really, it's not a multiple document data dump. It's you really are satisfying those specific conditions and uploading items to those specific conditions. So I want to satisfy this condition 130. So I'm going to click satisfy. I'm going to go into my Cam Newton borrower folder, and I'm going to look for my condition 130. And I'm going to upload it there. So it uploads automatically. Okay, and you'll see that you had already, you get distracted, you get a phone call, there's an emergency fire you need to put out. You can refer back to this and you can see that you already uploaded something. So let's go in and satisfy your conditions. Okay. Oh, what's this? What is this little plus sign here? I notice there's some plus signs over in this corner. What condition is this? Satisfactory evidence of hazard insurance noting insurable value. Okay, let's see what this says. So if you expand this section, this is actually a note from your underwriter. If your underwriter is not able to clear a condition, maybe the document that was provided doesn't satisfy the condition in total, the underwriter will leave that condition open for you to satisfy it again, and then they'll give you notes. as to why it wasn't acceptable, or for whatever reason they weren't able to clear that condition. You always want to refer back to here within that condition. If you go back in here and you're checking your pipeline and looking in that loan, and you see there are some notes in there and that condition is not yet cleared, you want to go in there and double check and see what it says until that condition is green and cleared. Okay, so, which condition are we here? We're at 203. Okay, let's satisfy condition 203. Okay. And then 9,000. Oops, I don't have 9,000 in here yet. That's okay. I'll just double it so you guys can just see for demonstration. Okay, so typically at this point, this is where you're going to get with your account manager and or your AE. You can really talk to either person. We generally don't like to piecemeal conditions to our underwriters because that would take a really long time for them to review one condition when there's multiple conditions per file. So if you're a processor that likes to come in and park your conditions and not get them submitted just yet, that's where the working relationship with your account manager comes into play. If you want to come in here and just partially satisfy your conditions, or if you work in a folder structure where you have your conditions in a folder and you want to park them there on your desktop, you can do it that way. This part of it is actually, fairly simple with just getting your conditions uploaded and then notify your account manager. Mr. and Mrs. Account Manager, I got 10 conditions uploaded in the Cam Newton file. Let's push to underwriting. I think there's a misconception sometimes with brokers and processors that you satisfy a condition and you think that it automatically goes to the underwriter. At HomeXpress, that's not our process. Your account manager actually has the ability to sign off on some conditions. So having that close working relationship with your account manager makes a big difference because they really are, I don't want to say the gatekeepers for lack of a better word, but they're able to review your conditions and assist in getting things signed off. For example, if the account manager sees that there isn't enough coverage on the homeowner's insurance, rather than sending that to underwriting and waiting for the underwriter to look at it, they'll just get right back with you and say, look, Mrs. Processor, there's not enough insurance coverage here. Can you get it bumped up to the loan amount or whatever it needs to be at? That way it is a significant time saver to have your account manager be looking at your conditions before they get submitted to underwriting. And that is our process. So when you feel like you're at a point that you're ready for the loan to be reviewed, either by your account manager or by the underwriter, you need to get with your account manager and give them that green light. Let's get it pushed, push it to underwriting. Now, if you have a particularly difficult loan that maybe has a condition that it's a single condition and you want your underwriter to review that condition only, again, that's where your account manager is going to be your first line of defense in getting those things cleared and talking with the underwriter if you need them to, and getting those conditions worked out, those tough ones. Does anybody have any questions about how to satisfy conditions, where to see underwriting notes? If you mistakenly upload something to a condition that is the wrong item, just get a hold of your account manager, say, hey, I accidentally uploaded something that didn't go there. Can you open the condition back up for me? And they can go in the system and do that really quick. Your funding conditions are also listed on here. If you know you have a funding condition that needs to be satisfied, the account managers do not satisfy any funding conditions. Typically, the closers will only satisfy the funding conditions. So if there's something on here that does need to be satisfied, a document needs to be uploaded to that, you can certainly park it in here for funding And then that way it would just make the funder's job easier at the end. Okay, if your broker shop requires that you download disclosures, lender disclosures, you can do that yourself in the document section. So this is a list of all of the documents that have been uploaded to the file. So any documents that you've provided will be listed here, as well as the disclosures. Okay, if your loan officer, if the loan has changed a few times and the lock needs to be extended, you want to change the prepay, or you need to raise the LTV, or whatever changes on the loan, you need to do a COC. Either you or your loan officer can come back in here and refer back to the original pricing on the loan. Okay, here's our initial fee. If there's something that happens down the road for disclosure, maybe a COC wasn't done for a second appraisal, or an appraisal fee ended up being higher than what it was originally disclosed at, you can go back into your initial fee disclosure input form and see what was provided. Okay, so that is kind of it. I wanted to leave some room open at the end to answer any specific questions. Again, stay close with your account manager. They're the ones that are going to push your conditions to underwriting. Your AEs will follow through and do final submission. Okay, so you and your loan officer can bring the submission on a non-QM loan to step 2, and then your AE needs to finish it up. If you're a broker that is submitting FHA conventional VA loans to us, you can submit your own loans all the way through to step 3. Typically those have, W-2s, pay stubs. They're not as complicated as the bank statement loans, where you have to have, self-employment questionnaire. You need to have your income analysis done. The non-QM loans just require a little bit more work prior to submission. So that's why we have the AEs assist in getting those through completely and accurately, so your loans can get approved quickly. Melissa's asking, do you have a document place in Loan Portal to see a description of each program? We actually do not, but we do have that information listed on our website. So if you go to homexmortgage.com, all of our program descriptions are actually on our website. So you don't need a password or anything to access the program descriptions and or the rate sheets. You can pull that information directly from our website, or you can always reach out to your account executive to get that information. Okay, does anybody else have any questions about pricing loans, submitting loans, income desk analysis, or satisfying conditions at HomeXpress? Okay, I'm not getting any more questions right now. One other feature I just wanted to show you, if this is a market rent tool that we have. If your loan officer is not sure what the market rents are for an investment property, this is a tool that you can use to request market data. And it gets directly emailed to your inbox. So it's based on room count. It's a nice tool to have. You just put your email address in here and it gets emailed to you direct. Here we go. Here we go. Locking. So Christina's asking about locking. In my experience, loans are automatically locked at registration. So no, for non-QM loans at HomeXpress, loans are locked at loan submission. They're not locked at registration. At HomeXpress, whether you're doing a pricing scenario or a registration, that does not trigger disclosure, nor does it trigger the loan being locked. Non-QM loans are locked when the file is submitted. So once the file is submitted in underwriting and you have your minimum submission requirements, that's when the loans are locked. No problem, no problem. So if you're doing agency, that's a different story. Agency, you can float if you're submitting agency loans. If you don't want to lock when the loan is submitted, you do have the option to float those. So, but that's, comes with the territory with agency loans. And you do need to talk with your account executive about specifically locking if you are doing agency. Yes, for agency, the locking of the loan will be completed with the AE. The AE does have to fill out a lock request form. Same thing with COCs. If you need to complete a COC on a loan, you do need to have that conversation with your account executive. The account executive is the one that actually requests the COC and or the lock. Okay. You are welcome. Okay, so does anybody else have any questions about the HomeXpress portal, how to do income analysis? Does anybody want to see any other pricing or the income desk or pipeline? Okay, well, I appreciate everybody's time and showing up for the webinar today. This is, really, I wanted to take some time to go through our portal specific. Oh, you're welcome. Go through our portal specifically and just kind of give everybody a walkthrough. Be on the lookout. We are revamping our portal. There's going to be a lot more features available. A lot more control is going to be given to the brokers. So we're very excited about the changes we have coming and be looking for that here in the next couple months. So work together with your account managers and your account executives to get those files clear to close. Okay, I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you again. Everybody have a great day.